Napoleonic Wars, 1803 to 1815. It's a series of conflicts between European empires and France under Napoleon Bonaparte I. Since the French Revolution of 1789, European empires were scared of France spreading their revolutionary ideas around all of Europe. And in 1803, Britain declared war on France. In 1804, Bonaparte Napoleon proclaimed himself Emperor of the French. And so, just like that, the First French Empire was created. Meanwhile, the Allies created the Anti-French Coalition. Coalition is a military or a political union of countries against a common enemy. And so in 1805, in the Battle of Trafalgar, the British Navy under Horatio Nelson won against the French and Spanish Navy. In the Battle of of 1805, Napoleon defeats the Austrians and takes Vienna. But Austria had an alliance with Russia, so they hoped to beat Napoleon together. So in 1805, in the Battle of Austerlitz, France destroyed the Russian and Austrian forces. In 1806, in the Battle of Jena-Auerstedt against the Prussian army, it's nowadays Germany, Napoleon defeated the Prussians and entered Berlin. In Berlin, in 1806, Napoleon signed the Decree of Continental Blockade. This decree just basically says, if you are France's ally, you can't trade with Britain. Wait, what's Russia doing here? Aren't they against Napoleon? Well, you see, in 1807, in the Battle of Friedland, France defeated Russia, which made them to sign the Treaty of Tilsit, which makes Russia the ally of France. Or so Napoleon thought. Because Russia, even though they were ally of France, they still continued to trade with the British because their economy was really bad. When Napoleon got to know about that, he decided to teach Russians a lesson. In 1812, Napoleon started the invasion of Russia. In 1812, in the Battle of Borodino, the French defeated the Russians and entered Moscow. After entering Moscow, Napoleon waited for Tsar Alexander, the ruler of Russian Empire, to make peace, but before Napoleon entered Moscow, the city was burned. With supplies running low and no peace, he finally retreated. The Napoleonic soldiers weren't ready for the winter, and they froze to death. And the Russian forces chased the French and avoided the face-to-face battle. After seeing Napoleon failing his invasion of Russia, the Allies decided to join in also. And just like that, everything was ready for the biggest battle in Europe before World War I, the Battle of Leipzig. This battle is also known as the Battle of the Nations, as the French had to fight the Austrians, Prussians, Russians, and the Swedish. Napoleon was heavily outnumbered and surrounded. And in 1814, the Allies entered Paris. Napoleon was overthrown and sent in exile on the island of Elba. After Napoleon was sent in exile, there was the Congress of Vienna that tried to fix Europe after the war. Meanwhile, in France, the monarchy was restored, and the king of the country became the brother of Louis XVI, Louis XVII. And just like that, the Napoleonic Wars were... Yo, Napoleon's back! What? Yeah, Napoleon's back and he's marching at Paris. When Louis XVII heard about Napoleon coming back, he sent 100,000 soldiers to arrest him. But you see, many of those soldiers were Napoleon's old soldiers. And people started to notice that life under the monarchy of Louis XVII is kinda bad. So all of those 100,000 soldiers joined Napoleon's side, shouting, "Long live the Emperor!" When the Allies got to know about Napoleon coming back into France, they declared war on Napoleon. And yes, you heard me right. In 1815, in the Battle of Waterloo against the British and Prussian forces, Napoleon lost. And after that, Napoleon was sent in exile once again on the island of St. Helena, where he died in 1821. And such concludes me explaining about the Napoleonic Wars. Make sure to like and subscribe. And how did I do?